Good evening. Welcome to the August 9th, 2021 Troy City Council meeting. This evening we'll have Councilmember Chamberlain Kranga do our invocation, so please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Lord God, Heavenly Father, thank you that we are known by you. Lord, you know what is on our hearts, you know what's on our minds, you know what's in our thoughts. And Lord, you know the decisions before us tonight. Lord, I pray that you grant us your wisdom, your peace, your guidance in all that we do tonight. I pray this in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll call the August 9th, 2021 Troy City Council meeting to order and ask for the roll call. Ms. Dixon.
Mayor Baker.
Here.
Councilmember Abraham.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Brooks.
Here.
Councilmember Chamberlain Kranga.
Here.
Councilmember Erickson Galt.
Here.
Councilmember Hamilton.
Here.
Councilmember Hoderick.
Here.
All present this evening. First up, our certificates of recognition and special presentations. We have 3 of them this evening, and excitedly 2 of them are not by me. So it's been a while since we've done that. So C1 is up first. It's the American Lung Association presentation to the City of Troy Fire Department Stair Climb Fundraiser. And my understanding is Chief Reister will come up and introduce our guests. Chief?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to allow us to make this presentation. Members of my team were invited to participate in a stair climb at Comerica Park back in May. And because of their efforts, the American Lung Association is here this evening to present an award to that group. So I'm going to ask Maureen Rovis, who's the Executive Director of the American Lung Association, to step up and explain to us a little bit about what they did.
Good evening all. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for having us tonight. It's our pleasure to join you. As Chief mentioned, I'm Maureen Rovis. I'm the Executive Director with the American Lung Association in Michigan. Thank you for the opportunity to share a little bit about our event and helping me recognize an incredible fire department that you all know you already have, right? Tonight I'm also joined by our co-sponsors, Preferred Financial Partners and Lifeline Fire Hose. They're co-presenting sponsors of our Firefighter Challenge. So if you haven't heard of it before, it's an annual challenge that is part of our Fight for Air Climb Detroit event. Typically, this event takes place in the skyscrapers in downtown Detroit, but as you can imagine, with everything happening in the last year and a half, we had to reimagine that. So for our 15th anniversary, we went outside and for the first time had our event at Comerica Park. It is our signature event at the American Lung Association, so not only is it a raising awareness to help fund our effort to end lung cancer and lung disease, it also supports our COVID-19 Action Initiative. And the American Lung Association's mission, as you may know, hits close to home with our firefighters because of their increased susceptibility to lung disease, including lung cancer, because of their exposure to gas, chemicals, and smoke in their line of duty. In addition, as you know, many of our first responders are also engaging with our community on a regular basis, and there are more than 1.8 million Michiganders who live with a chronic lung disease, so they're here supporting our community members. This year, for our Fight for Air Climb event, we hosted safely more than 1,000 climbers at Comerica Park, and it was a sellout event, but still included more than 275 registered firefighters and first responders from dozens of stations across the state. And to compete in the Firefighter Challenge, if you didn't know, our firefighters are climbing in full gear, which can weigh over 60 pounds, while climbing stairs, I should say that. So even harder. This year, our firefighter route started at the lower level in Comerica Park, where they sprinted up to the 300 level. If you've ever climbed the stairs at Comerica Park, you know that's hard without 60 pounds of gear on you. From there, they continued their way, weaving up and down both the 300 and 200 level, covering more than 2,100 stairs. Also unique to this year is the crazy weather we've been having. That day in late May, we experienced a record-breaking heat index of more than 90 degrees. So we had to adjust the route while they were in full gear, but their spirits were high and truly reminded us why what we're doing is so important, and they made the best of a really hot day. So it's just really incredible. To know more about the competition, there are 2 coveted competition prizes. First is our top fundraising fire department, as well as our fastest fire team. And we're so fortunate to have partners like Lifeline Fire Hose and Preferred Financial Partners who help us put this event on every year. So I'd like to invite our members just to share a little bit more about why they support the Lung Association and our first responders. So I'll invite Anna up first.
Thank you, Maureen, and thank you for having us. And thank you, Troy Fire Department, for being the top raisers on that very, very hot day in May. So I commend you, because just on the ground level, that was pretty unbearable. But Lifeline Fire Hose, our mission complements the American Lung Association perfectly. Our mission is to provide continuous breathable air to firefighters in a fire hose itself. So hoping to reduce that exposure to the carcinogens, et cetera. So we look forward to a strong partnership with the American Lung Association and being able to sponsor these types of events. So thank you very much.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. Thank you for having us. Thank you to the Troy Fire Department. On behalf of Preferred Financial Partners, I want to say we are very, very proud of you. I did the climb early in the morning at about 80 degrees. My rear end still hurts, and that was back in May. And I was there the entire day, and I watched this team triumph really over really bad heat. It was really bad. I thought it was really bad, and I think everybody did. But I want to thank you. So Preferred Financial Partners, we are right down the street from you. We love the American Lung Association. We are also in the business of helping protect human life. And a lot of us, a lot of people think of us as, the wealth planners, we're just growing money. But we actually really focus a lot on chronic and critical care and critical injury. We actually specialize in the service industry and in first responders. And what makes the American Lung Association such a wonderful partner is, quite frankly, 3 things. It is reliability, data that is apolitical, data that is just factual. There's no guessing with their data. Reliability and consistency, whether it's advocacy or research from every top university across the country, they are persistent in continuously adding to that research and continuously expanding, which helps us educate our clients, it helps us support our clients, and it helps us do things like support the Troy Fire Department. So really proud. I was going to say, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to make sure there was a lady there so nobody was offended, okay? And I thank you for your support and your time tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, as you can hear, we have great partners, but they really help bring our community event together for us, so we're so lucky. So as I mentioned, we're here to recognize the Troy Fire Department, but before we dive in, it's also important for us to thank the partners that help make it happen. So we know behind this team are also friends and families and supporters, as well as the department for allowing them to partake in that. So we're so thankful for them. It's really a great honor after several years of participation. It's their first time being recognized as the top fundraising fire department team, and that is a very competitive honor for them. And also just to take a moment for our team captain, David Vazil, who also earned top fundraising firefighter. So we're gonna be presenting 2 awards this night, and it's really cool just to see that. I know that he set the tone for the team as a leader when it comes to training, but also fundraising, and it goes to show just the number of things that the fire department does to support the community, and we're honored to have their support. So again, before we join me in officially presenting, I hope everybody will just join me in a big nod to all the supporters. It's so important to have them. And now it'll be my honor to officially, if the council would join me in the official presentation, because I do think it is a well-worthy cause. We have again 2 this evening. So first we'll be presenting David Vazil with the top fundraising firefighter. So this is an incredible honor. He really set the tone for us. And if you don't know that, with the American Lung Association, we raised more money than we did last year in a pandemic. So that just goes to show how incredible our supporters have been. Who would have thought? What a wonderful way to support our work. And then this is the traveling trophy, which will have the honor of hanging in one of the houses for the year. As you can see, it's well loved and gets passed around. It's got 15 years of love on here. But the team name is now permanently part of this traveling trophy and is part of a longstanding tradition that really was brought to light through Ron Savage at Fox 2 before we lost him. He was our co-chair for this event. So Chief, will you join me in officially presenting this? Do we want to invite members of the department to come up for a quick photo?
It will make a better picture.
I think so. I do not need to be in it.
Yes, you have.
I have to be in it, I'm told. Okay.
We can just awkwardly be in the back. We do,
Yes.
we do that really well in these pictures.
One down there, stand around the podium.
Do you want to hold your fancy? I feel like, you know, as the team captain, you have to come in and hold the other side, and then
Thank you, I like that.
I will hold your award in front of you.
Check that out.
Congratulations. And just for official record, since I'm sure there are minutes in here, let the record state this team raised $9,770. So that is nothing to shake a stick at. So again, thank you for the support. Again, Chief, thank you on behalf of the department for the support. We know that it starts with our leadership. So again, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, guys and gal. Next up on the agenda is C2, the 2021 Youth Achievement Award winners of the annual Safe Built Scholarship, Julia Levy and Arjun Tholakapalli. And that'll be presented by Cindy and Paul.
Dana.
And Dana. There you are. We're all here.
And we need some students.
And we need the students, of course. Who's going to take the picture, Cindy?
I can take it after.
All right.
But it's my pleasure, Mr. Mayor
Wow.
and City Council. First, I want to thank Safe Built for doing this every year.
It's our pleasure.
And then there were a lot of very, very qualified young people. But this year's first place graduating senior awardee is Julia Levy. She's a 2021 International Academy graduate, a class of 2021 International Academy East commencement speaker. She graduated summa cum laude with a 4.41 GPA. And in her 4 years at IA, she successfully completed 21 honors classes and 10 diploma program courses. In addition to her exceptional academics, Julia was also an active member in extracurricular activities, including an officer of National Honor Society, 20 and 20 to 21, founder and president of the International Academy East Book Club, 20 to 21, IA East Drama Club volunteer and student sponsor, 2017 to 2021, Math Honor Society member, 2019 to 2021, Tri-M Music Honor Society, 2019 to 2021, Spanish Honor Society member, 20 to 21, and Athens High School Tennis, 2018 to 2020. Also, she was one of the organizers for the IA East Interact Club of the GROW program for special needs students from August 2017 through June 2019. She was a robot science camp volunteer in 2018 and an ambassador for Girl Scouts of Southeast Michigan since 2007. She's extremely proud of the many projects she has helped organize through Girl Scouts and IA East that have enabled her to serve her community and beyond. Teachers and counselors praise Julia for excelling academically as well as her compassion. She was honored as the IA Kindness Hero Award. Her excitement, her passion, and her love for the STEM field. In the fall, well, she's leaving next week, Julia plans to attend Yale University and pursue a career in astrophysics.
Wow.
So I turn it over to Paul and Dana.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, it's wonderful to see you here, Mr. Miller. Last year, we didn't get to do this, and I do know many of you. There's a few members I haven't met yet, so I will introduce myself. I'm Paul Featherston. I'm Regional Operations Manager for Safe Built Michigan. But this is always my favorite time of year. We can always come up and do reports about building, about this and that, but this is the best. So, and we have, as you can see, the students already. We've learned about one of them, and the other one's going to be just as spectacular. But I just want to thank you for letting us be partners with you again in this endeavor. Thank you.
I would also like to thank all of you. I'm Dana Self, the Chief Building Official for Safe Built, and I too am very proud of both of these candidates here that have won this. I have children that have graduated this year, and I know how proud the parents must be. And so without further ado, I have a check for $1,000 for Julia. Congratulations to you.
Just want to thank Safe Built for the generous award, and Ms. Stewart for helping to organize this generous scholarship for seniors such as myself and Arjun and seniors of the past and future of Troy to help pursue their dreams, because college education is very expensive, so it's definitely a little helpful to just have scholarship money to help with that. And I appreciate recognizing seniors throughout Troy, our accomplishments. It's very, very big, and I appreciate the City Council for recognizing this scholarship and hopefully helping Safe Built continue this scholarship for other seniors around Troy. It's very, very valuable opportunity. I'm very thankful, and I only can help other seniors in the future will have similar opportunities.
Thank you, Julia.
They are amazing. And our second place graduating senior awardee is Arjun Tholakapalli. Did I do okay? A 2021 Troy High School graduate. He graduated with a 3.68 GPA, and in his 4 years at Troy High, he successfully completed 7 AP classes and 2 honors classes. In addition to his extracurricular activities, he was also an active member in Project Lead 2017 to 2021, National Honor Society 2019 to 2021, and Student Congress 2017 to 2019. He also served his community by serving on the Troy Public Library Teen Advisory Board 2017 to 2021 and Global Troy Advisory Committee 2019 to 2021. He was an honor awardee for the United Nations Global Goals Impact National Community Service Award, and he received an Outstanding Citizen Award by the Oakland County Sheriffs. He served as chair of elementary school tutoring with Project Lead, and he organized multiple tutoring sessions for students in the Troy School District. He's very proud of his involvement in their academic performance, seeing continual improvement in their math, reading, writing, and homework assignments. He was praised by teachers and counselors for his outgoing personality, his passionate work ethic, and his endless positivity. He sets goals for himself and outlines a path to achieve them. In the fall, he plans to study supply chain management at MSU.
Thank you, Mayor and Safe Built, for having us here today, and thank you, Safe Built, for offering us this scholarship. As Julia said, this is college is very expensive, so this will definitely go a long way towards helping us pay for that. Thank you.
Arjun, on behalf of the great city of Troy and Safe Built, here's second place $500 winner. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you all. And congratulations, Julia and Arjun. All right, next up is C3, a proclamation celebrating Carter Kanishnek, his second place, as the second place winner in the National Kids Idea Tank Competition. Carter, why don't you come up and meet me at the podium? All right, we're celebrating firefighters and kids. This is a great night. Come a little closer. So we are extremely excited to present this proclamation to you, Carter. It tells a little bit about your story. I'm going to read it into the record so everybody knows why you're here, but it's very, very cool. So again, this is a proclamation celebrating Carter Kenishneck's second place win in the National Kids Idea Tank competition. Whereas Troy resident Carter Kenishneck entered a national competition developed by author Loie Seichel, who has written marketing books aimed at kids and is the founder of Kids Idea Tank. And whereas Carter, a 13-year-old student at Roper School, discovered the contest information on the author's website. He had a small business city boxes idea that he had thought about and decided to develop it and enter the competition. And whereas Carter's idea to highlight small businesses in certain cities with a subscription box won second place in the national contest. He's always loved getting subscription boxes, but never knew of any that supported small businesses. And whereas it was during the COVID pandemic that Carter first thought about the small business city boxes, which he hoped would help the smaller, struggling local businesses. He plans to market the boxes to area hotels who would use the boxes for their visiting guests to get to know more about the city they are visiting. Subscription buyers could also learn about that month's city and the local small businesses. Whereas Carter's idea for the Detroit box would have a Motor City flavor with products such as Faygo and Chunk Nibbles. He plans on starting local, and as the business grows, he hopes to move on to other Midwest cities and eventually the entire United States. So now, therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and city council of the city of Troy hereby applaud and congratulate Carter Kenishneck for earning second place in the National Kids Idea Tank Contest. And be it further resolved that the mayor and city council of the city of Troy invite all residents to recognize and celebrate the ingenuity and creativity of Carter Kenishneck, a future entrepreneur, actually a current entrepreneur. Presented this 9th day of August 2021, it's signed by myself as Mayor Carter. All members of city council are here to celebrate you and applaud you. I present this to you and say, you're really fantastic and exceptional, so congratulations.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Mayor Baker, for presenting me with this and the whole council for having me today. And then finally, I just want to thank everybody who helped me get here. So literally everybody, because I could not do it without you. So thank you, and this means a lot to me. So thank you so much.
It's a good family, too. We know them, so thank you for coming, guys. Okay, that concludes certificates of recognition and special presentations. We move on. There are no carryover items this evening. There are no public hearings this evening. I don't see anyone has signed up for public comment this evening. So if you all want to leave, go ahead. Turn your radios back on. All right. So no public comment, that means no reply to public comment. There's no postponed items, so we move on to regular business. First up is board and committee appointments. We do have a couple mayoral appointments this evening, so I'll move that the mayor of the city of Troy hereby appoints Joseph Fasalo to the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority for the term expiring April 30th, 2024, and to the Global Troy Advisory Committee, Allison Liu as a student representative, as well as Sharanya Swaminathan as a student representative for the terms expiring July 31st, 2022.
Support.
Moved by the chair, supported by Councilmember Chamberlain Kranga, that we approve the appointments as just read into the record. Any discussion? Vote, Ms. Dixon.
Mayor Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brooks?
Yes.
Councilmember Chamberlain Kranga?
Yes.
Councilmember Erickson Galt?
Yes.
Councilmember Hamilton?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoderick?
Yes.
Motion carries. There are no city council appointments this evening. We move on to I-2, board and committee nominations. I'm still holding off on a couple nominations, and there are no city council nominations this evening. So I move on to I-3, a request for closed session. I'll move, be it resolved that the Troy City Council shall meet in closed session as permitted by MCL 15.268E pending litigation. Kara Greer versus City of Troy et al.
Support.
Moved by the chair, supported by Councilmember Hamilton, that we approve I3, request for closed session as read into the record and printed in the agenda packet. Any discussion? Vote, Ms. Dixon.
Councilmember Abraham?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brooks?
Yes.
Councilmember Chamberlain Craig?
Yes.
Councilmember Erickson Galt?
Yes.
Councilmember Hamilton?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoderick?
Yes.
Mayor Baker?
Yes, motion carries. Next up is I4, bid waiver, parks, maintenance, equipment, First Products, Era, Vader, and Turfco Meet Armatic XL Top Dresser. And it'll be presented by our Facilities and Grounds Operations Manager, Dennis Trentham. Hi, Dennis.
Hello. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before you tonight is a request for a bid waiver to purchase 2 pieces of equipment that will assist us in maintaining our athletic fields better. They're a sole source purchase. Spartan Industries is a regional distributor for both of these products, and I'd be willing to take any questions.
Any questions for Dennis this evening? No. Somebody excited to move this resolution? Councilmember Hamilton?
I'll move I4, bid waiver, parks maintenance equipment, First Products, Aeravator, and Turfco Metermatic XL Top Dresser as printed in the agenda packet.
Support.
Moved by Councilmember Hamilton, supported by Councilmember Hoderick, that we approve I4, bid waiver, parks maintenance equipment, First Products, Aeravator, and Turfco Metermatic XL Top Dresser as printed in the agenda packet. Any discussion? I'll just say it was good to see this on the agenda because I just got a message on Instagram the other day about the field. So sounds like we're being very responsive. I know it's on our agenda anyway. All right, the vote, Ms. Dixon.
Mayor Pro Tem Brooks?
Yes.
Councilmember Chamberlain Craig?
Yes.
Councilmember Erickson Galt?
Yes.
Councilmember Hamilton?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoderick?
Yes.
Mayor Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next up is I5, annual designation of MML voting delegate and alternate, and that'll be introduced by City Manager Miller.
Thank you, Mayor. Every year when there is an MML convention, we being the city as a member need to appoint a delegate and alternate. However, I believe at this time only Councilwoman Ann Erickson Galt is planning on going, which is an item on the consent agenda. Oh, I see a hand.
Yes.
You going to?
I wanted to go, yes.
Too late.
So council needs to choose a delegate and an alternate to vote on behalf of the city of Troy.
Okay. Does anyone want to be the, go ahead, David.
Yeah, I was the last delegate. I can't make it this year. I talked with Councilmember Erickson Galt and heard from Mayor Pro Tem Brooks that they were interested, so I'll move this for them. Be it resolved that City Council appoints Councilmember Erickson Galt to be the voting delegate and Mayor Pro Tem Brooks to be the alternate for the Michigan Municipal League 2021 annual meeting being held at 4:15 p.m. on Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021 in Ambassador Ballroom East at the Amway Grand Hotel, Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Support.
Moved by Councilmember Hamilton, supported by Councilmember Chamberlain Craig. The City Council appoints Councilmember Ann Erickson Galt to be the voting delegate and Mayor Pro Tem Brooks to be the alternate for the Michigan Municipal League 2021 annual meeting being held at the time and place printed in the agenda packet. Any discussion? Councilmember Erickson Galt.
Mayor Pro Tem Brooks and I discussed, and our agreement was that she would be the voting delegate and I would be the alternate.
So would you like, are you making an amendment to switch
I'd like
the
to make
names?
an amendment to Councilmember Hamilton's motion. That the amendment being that Mayor Pro Tem Brooks would be the voting delegate and Councilmember Erickson Galt would be the alternate.
Support. Moved by Councilmember Erickson Galt, supported by Councilmember Hamilton, that we amend the resolution at I5 as read by Councilmember Hamilton to make that switch. Any discussion? All right, the vote on the amendment.
Amendment, right. Councilmember Chamberlain Craig?
Yes.
Councilmember Erickson Galt?
Yes.
Councilmember Hamilton?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoderick?
Yes.
Mayor Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brooks?
Yes.
All right, the amendment carries. So now we'll vote on the I5 as amended.
Right.
Any discussion on that? Any further discussion? All right, the vote, Ms. Dixon.
Councilmember Erickson Galt?
Yes.
Councilmember Hamilton?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoderick?
Yes.
Mayor Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brooks?
Yes.
Councilmember Chamberlain Craig?
Yes.
Motion carries, and no pressure, but 2 years ago, Ellen and David did a really thorough report that we got to read, so expect the same. That concludes regular business this evening. Next up is the consent agenda. Would anyone like to pull an item on the consent agenda for future discussion and consideration? Councilmember Abraham.
I'd like to move all items on the consent agenda as printed with J6 as amended by the yellow sheet.
Support.
Moved by Councilmember Abraham, supported by Councilmember Hoderick, that we approve all items on the consent agenda as printed with the amendment of J6 as stated in the yellow sheet. Any discussion? The vote, Ms. Dixon.
Councilmember Hamilton?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoderick?
Yes.
Mayor Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brooks?
Yes.
Councilmember Chamberlain Craig?
Yes.
Councilmember Erickson Galt?
Yes.
Motion carries. If you're here for a consent agenda item, they've all been approved. There are no memorandums and future council agenda items this evening, no council referrals, so we move on to the reports. Does anybody have a comment on the reports this evening? All right. No council comments. Oh, no council comments. Councilmember Chamberlain Craig, go ahead.
I had a question on M02A around the naming of the new public space.
Oh,
Is that where we're at?
yeah, go ahead.
Right. So I know that the deadline for us, for different options for the Parks and Rec Committee is September 1st. So wondered if we have an idea of what is the timeline from there in terms of when, after September 1st, it goes to Parks and Rec, and then when might it come before us as council? Would that be October or November?
I see City Manager Miller beckoning.
And I want to say,
Kurt Bowen's here.
and it's a very creative idea for a great way to get the public to have ownership over this amazing new space that we have. So it's a terrific idea.
If you could tell us about the history of that program as well, just so we know, because it's not new to this process. It was created.
Correct, thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Council adopted the park naming policy several years ago. It actually was revised when we were starting the first stages of the dog park, where we had a naming opportunity and the procedure and policy needed to be revised. So we are following the same procedure that Council adopted back for the dog park. We're very excited. If you haven't drove by it, the asphalt's laid. They're putting the topsoil down. Very exciting time. DTE is scheduled to install the power, so the lights will be illuminated here in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So it'll be ready. The contractor's on pace to complete the project by their deadline beginning of September. As Councilman Rebecca Chamberlain Craig noted, that the deadline for submission is September 1st. The Parks and Recreation Advisory Board is scheduled for September 16th to look at the list. They'll make a recommendation to City Council. Assuming that goes as planned, you could see that as early as I believe it's the September 27th meeting. So we could be bringing a recommendation forward from the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board at that time. And then Council has the final authority to actually adopt the name of the space.
Kurt, what happens if Parks and Rec doesn't have quorum?
We really don't contemplate that. We'll continue to try. I think this is a big enough project, and I think members have responded positively to the meeting date, so hopefully that won't be a problem.
All right. Thank you. Any other comments on reports? All right. Council comments. Mayor Pro Tem Brooks.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, last meeting I did participate virtually, and I want to thank everyone, first of all, for the card, beautiful card, the calls and the well-wishing. And it's just a reminder that, we are still in the midst of a global pandemic. Obviously, today we're all wearing masks to be safe. And this has been going on, obviously, for over a year and a half. We know the things that we need to do to be safe, and we should continue to try to do it. Obviously, what we have now that we did not have a year and a half ago is a vaccine. The vaccine is very, very safe. It's very effective. And in Oakland County, our vaccination rates are actually pretty good. But I would still strongly encourage anyone that is holding out or, concerned, about the efficacy or about the safety of the vaccine to talk to their doctor and to make, an informed decision about it. Because as we head into the fall season, we want to, keep ourselves safe. And there's a whole cohort of people under the age of 12 that are unable to be vaccinated right now. So we want to keep ourselves safe. We want to keep our family members safe. We want to keep our community safe. And so let's try to, continue to do the things that we know work. So that's all.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Brooks. Councilmember Chamberlain Craig.
Yes, following up, Mayor Pro Tem Brooks, thank you for sharing that, and it fits nicely with what I wanted to bring to the table, is I want to commend Mayor Pro Tem Brooks for her being a real leader and modeling when you're not feeling well, even if it might just be a cold, choosing to be virtual. And it's something that a lot of us in our workplaces are wrestling with. Prior to COVID, if you're feeling a little sneezy or sniffly, you might choose to just tough it up and you go to work. That's what happened a lot in my workplace, and you would come to a council meeting. Now that we've been through COVID, and in many workplaces, you'll see that you actually, you have to monitor yourself, and if you are feeling any of those symptoms, you're not allowed to come into the office. That's how it works in my workplace. And I think that it was a great example in what you said, and I'd like to hope that we all, as a council, can commit to that. If we're not feeling well, even if we're not sure, and it is a simple call to choose to be virtual, because I think that's just, it's being great role models and just protecting the health, safety, and welfare of the entire public. So just wanted to raise that if anyone else has any thoughts on that.
Thank you for bringing that. You know, interestingly, I was having a conversation with somebody today about this very issue, not so much as it related to us, but the fact that I'm sure all of us up here and all of you out there have muscled through a cold or a flu to go to the office because you felt like you didn't have a choice, or maybe you didn't have a choice. And I had said that maybe one of the good things that'll come out of this pandemic is an understanding that we need to look differently at that in the future. And we have more tools now to do it because of the virtual technology we have and such. So on my mind too, obviously as well, I'm not so sure. I know we have a medical a reason for attending virtually. I don't know how broad that is. It's not, we'll see how that goes, but absolutely, I mean, I know Mayor Pro Tem Brooks, you wanted to be here in person, but you know, our signs say if you feel sick, don't come in the building. So yeah, there you go.
I don't want to expose anybody to potentially, you know, getting sick, or any of the city workers, or, you know, there's a lot of people that come to these meetings, so.
And we recognize that a lot of city workers and people, you know, first responders don't often have a choice. They still have to muscle through it because of different reasons. So DPW as well. But try to keep everybody safe as best you can. But we'll figure this out, I think, as we go through, and healthier people can get back in our office buildings and get our restaurants and retail full again, right? Good for the economy. So, Councilmember Hamilton?
I was at JC Park the other day with my daughter Victoria, and I was just curious. I went in the back area where the phase 3 of the trails and pathways is going up, and I was just curious, are there any updates on where that's at? Are we going to get any you know, timeline on when that's getting done or anything?
Well, how about if we come back with a report?
Sure. Okay. There may be something in the works already. I don't recall hearing anything about it lately. But the town center, I drove by the town center on the way here, and it's looking awesome, and I'm really excited for that.
Councilmember Chamberlain-Crango?
And I wanted just one final thing. I was at the Troy Family Aquatic Center just yesterday. My son had his final swim class of the year, and I just want to thank all of those staff, the leadership, the lifeguards, staff working there, for all of their hard work during, you know, as we see, we're still in the pandemic, but you know, there's been such a desire to use that pool, and it's been such a great resource. So I just thank everyone for all that they've done.
Great point. Any other council comments? Okay. Wow, so early. Well, we do have a closed session this evening, so we'll recess from here and we'll go to our closed session and adjourn in there at the time. Thank you.